Come, we're on.
Okay, we good? Alright, first and foremost, we want to say
Ka halal Yahweh wa Yahweh Shai b'Hashem Chakadash.
double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And salutations to the elect, pushing his word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. We'll read Isaiah chapter 10.
Alright, this is the book of Isaiah. Yeah, like it's almost like it's gotten worse, right?
Like, it's an interaction.
Yeah. Like he's actually fucked out.
You know, it'd be crazy if people can see the demons, or if people can see the consequences of interacting with the truth, and then within the interaction of the truth, whether you mock it, disobey it, or come into the truth. If people could see with our eyes the consequences that we see in other people, they would be a lot more open to they'll be a lot more open to the spiritual realm than the physical realm.
Yeah.
Because like people can't see what we see on this guy. People just think he's always been like this.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't know that he actually was less.
Yeah.
But until he interacted with us, it got worse.
Exactly. And it was over time, you know, like I remember like we put a curse on him. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
And you know, and like the demons got worse and worse. Like now he's actually totally bugged out, you know. Like barefoot, man.
That's
you know,
crazy.
just bugging out. Like even, you know, like a month ago, he was just running back and forth doing some crazy shit, bro.
Yeah.
You know, he talks to himself. You definitely can see that he has legions on him, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
And you know, that goes to show you, like, right, like when the scriptures talk about, you know, like when one, you know, turns away from the word of the Lord, you know, and then, you know, Satan, you know, pretty much jumps on him, and then, you know, he goes and more demons, you know, jump on him, right? Brings more demons. Like you can see the level of demons on these people, man.
It's crazy.
You know? But this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 10, verse 1. It says, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed."
That's right. That woe, which means death and destruction, is to so-called white people, which, according to the Bible, your biblical nationality is Edomites, man.
Yeah.
Esau.
Yeah.
The higher echelons of Esau.
Yeah.
They're the ones who control the laws in the society.
Yeah.
Right? And they have, what does it say?
It says, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees."
Unrighteous decrees.
Yeah.
Like what? Gay marriage.
Yeah.
That's an unrighteous decree. Now you are allowing abomination to flourish in the society.
Yeah.
You know, like even heck, we can go as small as smoking. To this day, I remember when I was very young, I could never understand how smoking was legalized. Because, you know, when you buy a pack of smokes, they show you on the pack what it does to your lungs.
Yeah,
they actually literally show you, and then they have this small description, like a small paragraph, explaining the chemicals that are going to your lungs and what's happening. And yet people are still able to buy it, access it, and they're able to smoke it at will. So, well, that's a destruction to Esau, and that's just a small example of what Esau has done to destroy this world, man.
Yeah.
You know, that's messing up people's mind and bodily functions.
Yeah.
Even though our flesh, because technically, man, you know what? Even though our flesh is, well, actually, what I was going to say is that to go even further back, step back a little bit. All this kind of stuff, everything that Esau does in society, every unrighteous decree he puts out, is to further disconnect the spirit from the person, or the conscious from the subconscious. Right? Because your subconscious would be your spirit. And your conscious is it's like you being aware of your spirit.
Some people feel it.
You know? But everything we do, the air we breathe, the food we eat, disconnects people from their spirit. And really, Jake, because Esau and the other nations, they're wicked, so they're playing out their role. But you know how many 2/3 of Israel are overweight? You know, smoke weed, drink all types of, even God in this society. Gad, man, I've had stories being told where Dad would take a sock, put it in the gas tanks, and sniff that shit.
Yeah. You know, just to
And
get
eat him,
high.
yeah, just to get high. You know, but this is all a doing of Esau's decrees.
Yeah. Here's a scripture. This is about Esau, right? Doing a righteous decrees. This is Proverbs chapter 4, verse 16. It says, "For they sleep not, except they have done mischief.
That's right.
In their sleep, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall." So, right? So that goes to show you how dedicated they are in wickedness. They can't sleep without thinking about how can we destroy these people. You know, what is the next thing that we gotta do? Disease warfare. You know, etc., etc. You know, how can we take these people out?
Warfare, yeah.
Exactly, right? Right. So they cannot sleep until they have done mischief and caused people to fall. You know.
It's crazy too because, you know, also to put it into another perspective as well, you know, these Edomites on the other side, on the left-hand side, you have to understand that they're dealing with the spiritual demon Satan.
Yeah.
And they think that they actually believe that we're the wicked because we're going against them. So just like us, we're diligently putting in the work to make sure that we push out this truth and to Lord willing seal our election, to make our election sure. Esau's doing the exact same thing on the left hand side. He's thinking up so much different ways, continually thinking up ways to push out his so-called righteousness, which is really just wickedness. So yeah, best believe every day they're working on things.
That's right. And it says, "For they eat the bread of wickedness, and drink the wine of violence."
That's right.
You know,
That's right.
going back to Isaiah chapter 10, right? Verse 2. It says, "To turn aside the needy from judgment, and take away the right from the poor of my people.
That's right.
The widows may be their prey."
And they
Right?
took the right away from the poor of our people, which is Israel, man. And really, when you think that even deeper, the poor of our people really you can narrow that down to the elect, right? Because if you broaden that out to Israel, the right for us to, for instance, we built America, but what laws? How much of the laws in America's legislative actually back Negroes and Latinos and North American Indians? You know, North American Indians on this side were here before Esau got here. But how much of the laws in Canada actually help the North American Indians? You know, there's a lot of cases that happen of missing children and homicides and et cetera, that Esau throws out not to deal with because it's dealing with a North American Indian. So they're taking the rights because it's our right to get that stuff solved out, to get that figured out. You know, if you have a Jake that's sick and needs to get surgery, best believe if there's an Edomite who's sick and needs to get surgery, he's going to get it before the Jake.
Yeah.
Even though the Jake was there before, got the injury before, and all these type of things.
Yeah. Or, you know, like, depending on how level you are as an Edomite, right, you will get the best of the best. For example, right, like, that one goddamn Edomite, you know, I believe one of the Rothschilds, I believe, you know, he had like 6 heart, you know,
Solomon.
yes, you know, he had, you know, I'm a 6 heart, you know, transplant, man, you know, and then you have a Jake that's 30 years old that died because of a heart, you know what I mean? Because of a heart condition, right? Which goes to show you, you know, that they probably saw, you know.
Standards are different.
Exactly, right? You know, and they kill people just to, you know, pretty much keep the wickedness of their higher echelons alive, right?
Yeah.
You know? They will see, you know, a young Israelite, you know, with good, healthy kidneys, you know, be sick, go to the hospital, all of a sudden, you know, that kid is dead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then, you know, they will use those organs, you know, and give it to...
Eat them alive.
Yeah. You know, they do these things, man. Yeah. You know, that's why it says what it says right here. It says to turn aside the needy from judgment and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless.
Yeah, that's
Right?
crazy.
Right?
You know what, man? Like, to even take it even like, take it when it says widows will be their prey, and then rob. Say it again, rob of.
Yeah. It says, and that they may rob the fatherless.
Rob the fatherless, because you know what? The reason why, on the deep sense, man, the reason why Israel is in the state that it is in, we're in the state that we're in, is because the men of Israel have fallen away from the knowledge of the Most High, from the heritage. Because if the man is the head of every family, and if the man goes off, if the head's cut off, the whole other body is dismembered.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so technically, as a nation, we are fatherless. The only true fathers we have are beginning with the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, on down to everybody that's doing this work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So if the Most High never woke us up to the truth, that scripture would be full blown to an extreme.
Yeah.
You know, and right now it's to an extreme, and we still have 144,000 men doing this work diligently.
Yeah.
And it's still to an extreme.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly, because Esau's going to get rid of a lot of, a lot of our people,
Yeah.
but he has not encountered how he's going to take down the elect, because
Yeah,
he can't.
yeah, yeah.
You know, that's why the scripture says that if it were possible, they would have deceived the very elect, man. Which goes to show you that they're going to get very close to deceive the elect. So that goes to show you how much more the people that are not of the elect, they're going to,
they're gone.
right? It's the same thing with how the scripture says that the righteous will scarcely be saved, right?
Yeah.
And if the righteous be scarcely saved, how much more them that don't believe?
Yeah.
So it goes to show you, that the distance between the elect and the people, the 2/3 of our people in the world,
It's
is
huge.
way huge, man.
It has.
Way huge. You know?
It's true. Very true.
And it goes to show that Esau's ways of deceiving our people, it's so much more, because if it were possible, it would have even deceived the very elect.
Yeah, man. You know what? Some Jakes underestimate Esau. Man.
Esau, yeah.
Yo, Esau's good at what he does,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, he's a king of wickedness.
He's the king of wickedness.
Yeah,
You know, Esau has the spirit of Satan, the spiritual demon Satan
yeah.
resides in Esau.
Yeah, and the word demon means intelligent.
Intelligent.
Right? So he's
There you
actually
go.
smart in wickedness.
Yeah, he's smart in wickedness.
Yeah.
You know, and that guy was created from the Most High himself. So to underestimate Esau is to underestimate the Most High.
Yeah,
In a sense, because Most High controls both sides. Man.
Yeah, yeah, you're literally underestimating the left hand
Yeah.
side of the Most High.
Yeah.
You know? And it says, and what will ye do in the day of visitation? You know? And it says, and in the desolation which shall come from far.
That's right, man. Because it's going to be a great destruction in this society.
Yeah,
Whether you like to believe it or not, like to hear it or not, it will come.
yeah,
You know, and if you're watching the news and taking in your environment, your surrounding, it's going to come soon, man. You have so many things that are happening. You know what people tend to forget? Esau is good at making people in this society stick within their own bubble and stay within their own heads.
yeah,
You know, a lot of the times, like for example, I like to remind my family members that we only live in Regina. Remember that. Like there's other places. That's what the news is for. To take your perspective outside of where you live, to understand that this place is wicked.
yeah, exactly.
There's wars and all types of pestilence, like Venezuela.
Yeah.
Venezuela, people forgot
It's
about Venezuela.
finished.
It's finished.
Yeah.
That's a whole country.
Yeah,
A whole country. If all of Canada was finished, that would be worldwide.
yeah,
It shows you that also shows you the spotlight.
yeah,
The spotlight is a lot heavier in the Western Hemisphere than it is in the Eastern Hemisphere.
yeah. And they only show you what they want, because
Yeah,
just like what you were saying, is that they control it, right? They control what they show you of the wickedness that's happening in the other side of the world. For instance, right? Like they only show you what they want. So
Yeah.
when they show you things, it doesn't mean that that's the only, full, a story of what's happening. They only show you just maybe 10% of the other, 90, percent bullshit that's happening that they don't even bring up to the media, because you only hear what they tell you. You don't actually go there, right? You don't travel to these different, worlds, right? And actually find out, what is really happening. They, you get it by the way of the media, right? And they give you, they give you some stories here and there, little portion by portion, but majority of the time, they keep you programmed and they keep you asleep of what's actually happening behind the scenes with the elites and their agendas, man.
Yeah, it's crazy too, because that means with that logic alone, you're never actually fully getting the truth when it comes to the media.
Yeah.
But because we have the scriptures, we understand, we actually are getting the full truth. Because the thing is, Esau has levels of his of fails.
Yeah.
The first level, because with the news, if our people weren't lazy and actually would go out and go look for the news and see what's going on across the world, they could find a lot more than they're getting right now on their local television.
Yeah.
But even when you go out to look for the news, even the RT news that you're getting that shows you across the world is still giving you, Esau's still controlling what you're seeing there too. But that's why it's important to have the scriptures.
Yeah.
Because the scriptures will give you everything Esau won't show you.
Yeah.
I say that.
So at the end of the day, man, at the end of the day, as our people, as an Israelite, whether either you're a Negro, a Latino, or a North American Indian, your true purpose is to come back to your heritage so you can understand your environment.
Yeah.
Fully understand your environment.
Yeah. And it says, and what will ye do in the day of visitation, and in the desolation which shall come from far?
Yeah, man, because a lot of people are gonna have heart attacks, man. As soon as the TVs go on and America is being nuked, how much people in Canada are gonna go crazy? By then, Canada will already be in a state of emergency.
And it says, to whom will ye flee for help? And where will you leave your glory?
That's right. So that nice cushy job, your nice house, your Mercedes-Benz, your reputation in whatever it is, what are you going to do with all these things, man? The material things. Okay, it doesn't matter how much money you have, or how nice your clothes are, or how much of an influence you've done from motivational speaking or any of these things.
That's right.
Your glory, if it's not the glory of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, it's useless.
Yep. That's right. And it says, without me they shall bow down under the prisoners, and they shall fall under the slain. For all this is his anger, Salakia. For all this his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. And it says, O Assyrian, the rod of mine anger, and the staff in their hand is my indignation. I will send him against the hypocritical nation and against the people of my wrath.
That's right. The people of his wrath. That's talking about Israel, man. The hypocritical nation would be Israel, because we are the only nation on this planet that is going against the fiber of our being.
That's right.
As a nation, we're supposed to be the Most High's people. We're supposed to be keeping the his laws and statutes and commandments according to the best of our abilities in this society, and only 144,000 out of millions, heck, even billions of Israelites are doing that.
Yeah, and the Assyrians represents Esau today, man.
Yeah, represent Esau today. Yeah.
Because, like for example, like he said right here, the definition, it says the Assyrian to be a tool of destruction. And hey, King David said what, to the Lord to pretty much deliver him from his sword, which the Lord's sword was the wicked Edomites, man, and still are today, man.
Well, Esau had got that blessing of the sword.
Yeah.
So out of all the nations, he would be the one who can deliver the most amount of destruction and damage.
Yeah.
Right. So the Most High, of course, the Most High. So the Most High would use Esau as his rod.
Yeah. And it says, I will send him against a hypocritical nation, and against the people of my wrath will I give him a charge to to take the spoil and take the prey and to tread down like the mire of the streets. Howbeit he meaneth not so, neither doeth his heart think so, but it is in his heart to destroy and cut off nations, not a few. For he saith, are not my princes altogether kings? Is not Calno as Tarshimis? So like it is not Calno as Karshemish? Is not Hamath as Arpad? Is not Samaria as Damascus? As my hand hath found the kingdoms of the idols, and whose graven images did excel them of Jerusalem and of Samaria. Shall I not, as I have done unto Samaria and her idols, so do to Jerusalem and her idols?
That's right, man, because, Ephraim, all of Israel has idols, but Ephraim be big on that too.
Yeah, that's why they're silly.
That's why, that's why they're silly, because the scripture calls them silly doves. Silly doves. Majority of our people are in love with this guy.
Yeah.
With this guy.
And like all the other idols are right here, right?
Yeah, come on.
Right here.
Yeah, and all the other idols right here. So our people are dealing with either him or any of these other idols and not worshiping the Most High, man. So the Most High is going to destroy. It's going to destroy those idols. Because those idols are turning our people away from the Most High and making them more wicked each and every day.
Yeah. That's right. And it says, wherefore it shall come to pass that when the Lord hath performed his whole work upon Mount Zion and upon Jerusalem, I will punish the fruits of the stout heart of the kings of Assyria and the glory of his high looks.
Yo, so the Most High is a bad man.
Yeah.
He's gonna use Esau to punish Israel, and Esau during that punishment, Esau's gonna get proud. See, we got the power. This is gonna happen. Then the Most High is gonna flip the table.
Yeah.
Flip the switch on them, and it's gonna gather us up to take down Esau.
Yeah, because there's a scripture too that says that these heathens, they think that the Lord was altogether along with them. Like they think that the Lord was with them when they were punishing us, doing wickedness to us. But the Lord will laugh at their calamities, man, and actually have them in derision, right? So the Lord is a bad man, yo.
You cannot fear a power like that.
Yeah, and he is justified of doing that too. And it says, verse 13, for he saith, by the strength of my hand I have done it, and by my wisdom I am prudent. I have removed the bounds of the people, and have robbed their treasures, and have put down the inhabitants like a violent man. The Lord said, what? By my strength and of my hand I have done it. So the Lord has already spoken it in existence. He said he did it, though it was time to come to it. You know what I mean? So the Lord pretty much going into how that his words do not come in vain, or when he speaks his word, it does not go out in vain. And it says, verse 14, and mine hand hath found as a nest the riches of the people, and as one regardeth eggs that are left, have I gathered all the earth, and there was none that moved the wing, or opened the mouth, or peeped. Shall the axe boast itself against him that heweth therewith? Or shall he that saw magnify itself against him that shaketh it?
That's right, man. So you can't come against the Most High when he's using you, man. Right? You can't come against the Most High. That shows you the level of Esau's pride, man. The Most High is using Esau, has been using Esau, and still currently is using Esau to punish our people. But at the same time using us to take down Esau.
Yeah.
Right? And what's going to happen is when Most High is done using Esau at the point when we as a nation are done living out our sentence, then the Most High is going to send Yahweh Shai, and there's going to be full-blown war between us and Esau, man.
That's right.
And Esau, knowing that the Most High is using them, because Esau knows the scriptures. Esau, knowing that the Most High is using them to punish us and to make these weapons of wars and all this, is still going to come up against the power that is using them to do all these things. That's why the scriptures say that they should fight scarcely, roughly paraphrasing.
Yeah,
they
like
fight through. They're fearful, but they're still going to go fight.
Yeah, they will be afraid, but yet there's fights.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what you call pride.
Yeah. And it says, as if the rod should shake itself against them that is lifted up, or if the staff should lift up itself. And it says, as if it were no wood. Therefore shall the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai, the Lord of hosts, sends among his fat ones leanness, and under his glory shall he kindle a burning like the burning of a fire. And the light of Israel shall be as a fire, and his Holy One for a flame, and it shall burn and devour his thrones and his briars in one day.
That's right, man. Right now, like I said last week, right now we're just fishers of men. But soon we're going to get our spiritual bodies, and we're going to get our spiritual powers, man. Lord willing, of the elect.
Yeah.
And we're going to rain hell on this Edomite, man.
Yeah.
2/3 of Israel and the rest of the other nations. Because this kingdom, this society, is getting worse every day. You know, actually, it's fair to say it's getting worse by the second. The amount of wickedness in society is getting worse by the second.
That's right. That's right.
And any longer past the set time, we will all be destroyed, as the scriptures say.
Verse 18, and it shall consume the glory of his forest and of his fruitful field, both soul and body, and they shall be as when a standard bearer fainteth. And the rest of the trees of his forest shall be few, that a child may write them. And it says, verse 20, and it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel shall be, that the remnant of Israel be such as are escaped of the house of Jacob, shall no more again stay upon him that smote him, but shall stay upon the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai, the Holy One of Israel, in truth.
That's right. The remnant is talking about the elect. The elect out of the house of, it said the house of David?
The house of the Lord Yahweh Shem.
Yeah, the house of the Lord Yahweh Shai. So that's 12,000 men. The house of the Lord Yahweh Shai is Israel. That's 12,000 men from each tribe.
The house of Jacob.
The house of Jacob.
Verse 21, the remnant,
Spiritually, it's the house of David.
the remnant shall return, even as the remnant of Jacob, unto the mighty power Yahweh Shem Shai. For though my people Israel be as the sand of the sea, yet a remnant of them shall return, and the consumption decreed shall overflow with righteousness. For the Lord Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai of hosts, shall make a consumption even determined in the midst of all the land. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai of hosts, O my people that dwellest in Zion, be not afraid of the Assyrian. He shall smite thee with the rod, and shall lift up his staff against thee after the manner of Egypt.
Yo, and you know what's crazy, man, about that is that that's happening right now. That's parabolic for right now, and it's funny. We're preaching that. You know, those of us that are out here pushing this word in truth and sincerity, that's what we're preaching to 2/3 of our people, preaching to our people. Because the problem is our people are going through hell, and they don't know why they're going through it. And that's what causes their despair and all that. But for us, it's not like us being on this side of the signs, we're not going through hell. We're going through hell as well, but we understand why we're going through it. So we, therefore, by that logic alone, we're inadvertently in more peace than the rest of Israel. But we're out here telling Israel that, guess what? Yeah, you're in that state. you're in that state, in the situation you're in, because of what you did in your past, right? Which brings up the topic of reincarnation. Esau is on you because of this. We are on the bottom in society because of this. But Yahushua is coming. Therefore, wait on him. But that's only a message that's only that's going to be received and heard from, by the elect.
That's right. Verse 27, and it shall come to pass in that day that his burden shall be taken away from off thy shoulder, and his yoke from off thy neck.
Right.
And the yoke shall be destroyed because of the anointing.
And right now, man, Esau, like from back in the day, they used to have that physical yoke on our neck. You know, and those chains and shackles on our hands, and on our wrists and ankles. But now it's a spiritual yoke, man. Because, you know, Esau, because Jake roams up and down the streets freely, you know. But spiritually, you can tell that there's still yoke to, spiritually they have, Esau has that yoke around their neck.
Yeah, that's right.
That's why no matter what evidence, no matter how much proof you bring out that who they're listening to is wrong and what we have is right, they won't accept it. Rather, Jake rather kill us, like they did to Yahushua and the apostles for trying to take that yoke off their spirit. Then be grateful for it. And that's why they have to be destroyed, man.
Yeah.
They can't even see the truth, even if it's right in front of them.
Yeah. Verse 28. He is come to Ayath. He is passed to Magron. At Mishkash he hath laid upon his carriage. They are gone over the passage. They have taken up their lodging to Jeba. Ramoth is afraid. Jeba of Saul is fled. Verse 39. It says, lift up thy voice, O daughter of Gillim, cause it to be heard unto Laash, O poor Anathoth.
That's it on that one.
Okay.
You go to
Chapter 5, verse.
Yeah, we'll start at, let's go 3. Verse 3.
Okay. Isaiah chapter 5, verse 3. Now, O inhabitants of Jerusalem and men of Judah, judge, I pray you, betwixt me and my vineyard.
That's right. The vineyard is talking about his people, which
Yeah.
is not the whole world, but you Negroes, Latinos, and North American Indians.
Yeah. It says, what could have been done?
Although you do have Israelites who will look like the other nations.
Yeah.
You know, but you could read them through the Spirit.
Yeah. Yeah. The vineyard of the Lord is his people, you know, the seed,
Yeah.
you know, that is around the whole world. You know, and it can be planted in China, but it's still that same seed from the Lord.
Yeah, come.
You know? And it says, what could have been done more to my vineyard that I have not done in it? Wherefore, when I looked that it should bring forth grapes, brought it forth wild grapes? And now, go to, I will tell you what I will do to my vineyard. I will take away the hedge thereof, and it shall be eaten up, and break down the wall thereof, and it shall be trodden down, and I will lay it waste. It shall not be pruned nor digged, and there shall come up barriers and thorns. I will also command the clouds that they rain no more upon it. For the vineyard of the Lord of hosts is the house of Israel, and the men of Judah his pleasant plant. And I looked for judgment, but behold oppression, and right for righteousness, but behold a cry. Woe unto them that join house to house, that lay field to field, till they be no more place, that they may be pleased alone in the midst of the earth. You know? You want me to continue?
Yeah. Read.
Fine.
We'll read down to what verses are we at?
I'm on verse 9 now.
Yeah, we'll probably read down to 20.
Okay, cool. And it says, verse 9, in mine ears saith the Lord of hosts, of a truth, many houses shall be desolate, even great and fair without inhabitants. Yea, 10 acres of vineyard shall field one bath, and the seed of an ophir shall field an ephah. Woe unto them that rise up early in the morning, that they may follow strong drink that continue until the night.
That's right, man. That's like, you know what, man? That's deep in itself, because our people are just like Esau. You know, our people, just like Esau rises up in the morning early to do his wickedness and doesn't go to sleep at night until he's done his wickedness. It's the same thing our people have gotten to now too. Our people stay up late at night to make sure they have accomplished the wickedness of Esau, which is now they have made their wickedness, and wake up early in the morning and do the same thing. You know, so you know that in itself, our people have sold out. That's a form of selling your soul. Okay, now you are going against again the very fiber of your being, because we're not supposed to do what Esau's doing, but our people are doing what Esau's doing wholeheartedly. So their souls, they've sold out.
Yep. And it says, till wine inflame them.
And just because Esau's giving you a happy meal and a couple toys, you know, like these cars that our people be getting, like the lifestyle that our people be getting, 2/3 of our people be getting for following Esau is nothing compared to what Esau's compared to what Esau's living.
Yeah.
You know, that stuff is not even chump change. That's like change you found in the couch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That tuna you find in the couch, you give it to your little brother, and it's like, wow, it's the whole world to them.
Yeah.
Now they can buy like 20 pieces of candy.
Yeah.
That's how it is from Esau down to Jake.
Yeah, exactly. And it says, verse 12, and the harp and the viol and tabret and pipe and wine are in their feast, but they regard not the work of the Lord, neither consider the oppression of his hand.
That's right, man. The work of the Lord is being done in front of our people and the rest of the world each and every day, man.
That's right.
We're constantly out here doing the work, pushing the truth of the Bible. We're out there in the news. We're out there on social media. So there's no excuse for anybody to say that they never got a chance to hear the truth.
That's right.
Okay.
You have a question?
Yeah, you got some pretty interesting images here. Like,
You a Christian?
no, I don't go to mass.
You believe in God?
You could say that.
Okay. You have a question behind the?
Yeah, like, what's like the?
Well, this is not the image. The reason we got horns on this guy, everybody calls Jesus Christ. Because first of all, the name of the Most High, the name of the Son of the Most High is Jesus Christ. And he doesn't look like this.
That's white supremacy.
That's white supremacy. Right? Because in the scriptures, it actually describes what everybody ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, the Son of the Lord, to be a dark-skinned man with woolly hair. So if he was here today, we'd be called a Negro. That's nothing that you get told because there's white supremacy in this society. So we're here to wake up our people, let them know that who they're following as opposed to who they're supposed to follow are two different people.
Okay, very interesting.
Yeah.
All right, sweet.
That's right. And it goes on to says, therefore my people are gone into captivity because they have no knowledge.
Okay, we just finished, yeah, exactly. And this is the example of that. You know,
Went into slavery because of
God, yeah.
right?
Because we didn't know our heritage. We didn't know who we were. So that is actually the basis of why we went into slavery. Because Esau, being the so-called white people, Caucasians, were able to use the Bible to trick our people into going into slavery, even though the Bible is completely against Esau. But that's only happened because our people didn't understand the Bible. So for the lack of knowledge, they actually went into slavery and are still in slavery. It's not physically, but it's more mental and spiritually now.
That's right. It says, therefore my people are gone into captivity.
Hey, excuse me. Do you know that you're an Israelite according to the Bible?
What?
Have you ever heard that you're an Israelite according to the Bible?
No.
Would you like to hear more about it?
No, thank
So that's an example of that right there.
Yeah.
That's an example of that right there.
That's right.
They were, even though the truth is in front of them, they will refuse. He'd rather live the life that Esau has given him than hear the truth of his heritage.
That's right. It says, therefore my people are gone into captivity because they have no knowledge, and their honorable men are famished, and their multitude dried up with thirst. Therefore health hath enlarged herself, and opened her mouth without measure, and their glory and their multitude and their pops, and he hath rejoiced, shall ascend into it. That's right, man. That's why a lot of our people are in a mental captivity, just like what the brother was saying, right? Because hell is a state of mind. Hell is a state of mind, because a lot of people, don't even actually, consider that, man, right? And that's why it says that, it has enlarged itself, right? Verse 15.
Also, even like when you go back to the word hell, it means grave. And the majority of people are dying because they refuse to listen to the truth.
That's right.
So are you guys with like a larger group, or is it just you two?
No, we're in a larger group.
What's the name of it?
Great Millstone.
Great Millstone?
Yeah. GMS,
Yeah. We're the Hebrew Israelites of the Bible, man. And it says, verse 15, and the mean man shall be brought down, and the mighty man shall be humbled, and the eyes of the lofty shall be humbled. But the Lord of hosts shall be exalted in judgment, and the power that is holy shall be sanctified in righteousness.
That's right. And that's why we're out here, is to place judgment, both on our people and the rest of the world. Because sooner or later, rather sooner than later, the society is going to be finished. With the way, even if you go back to talking to about our currency right now, being the fiat currency, is basically backed upon nothing. There's no physical, you can't go to the bank and trade in a $10 bill for any physical conduct proving that $10 bill. You can't go there for 10 pounds of gold if that's the same equivalent, because we don't have anything backing it up. So we're heading towards a society that's gonna have no currency, everything will be digital, and our people are gonna force push that society, because 2/3 of Israel are engulfed in the society and believe everything Esau is doing. So we're warning and we're judging, because before all that happens, all hell's gonna break loose. These movies of these post-apocalyptic movies are a representation of what's gonna come here. That's why they're so big in audience, because people understand that's realistic.
That's right. And it says, then shall the lamp feed after their manner, and the waste places of fat ones shall strangers eat. Woe unto them that draw iniquity with cords of vanity, and sin as it were with a cart rope, that say, let him make speed and hasten his work, that we may see it, and let the counsel of the Holy One of Israel draw nigh, and come, that we may know it. Verse 20, woe unto them that call evil good, and good evil, that put darkness for light, and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet, and sweet for bitter.
And that's what put the sign over it. Or actually, do you have the sign of the other nation on the back of it?
No.
No? Okay, well, the spearhead, the people that are spearheading good for evil and evil for good are so-called white people, the upper echelons of them. So these banker families, these Rothschilds that run actually the world, they're spearheading everything that's wicked and changing what's wicked to being good and what's good to be wicked. Things like homosexuality. No matter what anybody says versus their opinion or not, that is actually wrong. It doesn't make sense. It promotes death, extinction. So no matter your emotions on it, your emotions are your own opinion. You can live with those, but objectively, it's wrong. And now we're in a place where that's rampant because it's legalized. Now and it's funny because it's more rampant in these nations, these people, than any other nation. So that's not a coincidence. Even with what's it called? What's that? Not birth control, but
Abortion.
Abortion clinics. You know, if you look in the ghettos, there's abortion clinics almost on every couple blocks away.
And
McDonald's,
Liquor
gun
stores.
stores, liquor stores, all that stuff is planned out. It's not a coincidence.
to pretty much kill our people, and that's what majority of the so-called Native Americans, they're living, you know, in hell, man, at the bottom of society, you know, due to how it's systematically designed to destroy these people, man. You know, these are the people of the Lord. You know, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and the so-called Native American Indians and down, these are the true Hebrew Israelites, you know, that are at the bottom, man, and these are the people that the Lord is coming back to save, you know?
Exactly, because a lot of people believe that God or Jesus Christ, who they call Jesus Christ, is coming to save everybody. And he's not coming to save everybody. Because there's people in this society or in this world who don't need saving.
That are living in their
They're
heaven.
living in their heaven. They're doing good, so what would they need saving from? As opposed to the people like the people that are in impoverished places, in drugs, jail system, all that kind of stuff. It's because the system is systematically made for them to be in those situations. Right? So
You both have some very interesting words to say and to make sense. So are you like out here like for donations or more sort of just raising awareness?
Basically raising awareness for people before it's too late.
That's right, because, you know, just
Eventually,
like,
we're not going to be able to be out here because of
because of
how crazy this society is getting.
Yeah, but you know, it's the same thing like that happened, you know, in the time of Noah. Noah was out there preaching for hundreds of years. People thought it was crazy. He told them it was going to rain. But then as soon as, you know, it started raining, you know, and he got, you know, when he got into that ark, you know, that was when everyone wanted to hear what he was going to say. But it was too late, man. You know, and that's exactly what's happening now. Before the Lord destroys a society, he brings out his prophets to warn the people. And majority of the time, people don't want to listen to the, you know, to the prophets of the Lord. That's why who the world called Jesus Christ was killed, right? His apostles, right? His disciples, they were all killed, not because they were out there with,
Guns,
yeah,
knives,
you know what I mean? You know, like they weren't out there giving everyone hugs and kisses, man. They were out there to tell the people, yo, get your shit right, man. Otherwise, you're gonna fucking die. In those words, man. You know, they were speaking rude speech. You know, people did not like what they were saying, and that's why people killed them, man. And that's, you know, that's eventually what's going to happen with us, man. You know, because the men of the Lord are not soft-ass people, man. They're rough. You know, they would tell you straight up, man, quit smoking or you're going to die. And that's the truth, man.
And in this society, when you tell the truth, man, it's when you're blunt, you got all people going against you. Because everybody, from male, rather, I mean, even if you forget female, but just the males, who are supposed to be a higher representation of austereness and directness and bluntness and less emotion driven, more logic driven. You come to society and be that, even that's the ideal, and be that, you have more people hating you than liking you or respecting you, which shows you that the state of mind that the men in this society are in is completely backwards. Women act like men and men act like women. That's how that works in society.
Yeah.
What was the name of the group? Millstone?
Great Millstone.
Great Millstone.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have like a...
You just look it up on YouTube. Different brothers across the world. That's it.
Mind if I take a picture with you too?
No, we don't.
No pictures?
Yeah.
Okay.
No picture of those, man.
Alright, see. Yeah. Nice
Alright.
talking to you, I guess.
Okay.
This is the book of Galatians, chapter 4, verse 16. Am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth?
That's right.
You know? And that's exactly what happens out here, man.
Exactly what happens. And that's why there's going to come a time where, you know, like I said, you know, Esau is going to be out here with his military might, looking to kill anybody who's going to be out here speaking against
They're going to be labeled as hate speech.
hate speech.
Yeah.
You know, speaking against their structure, speaking against their society, their agenda. And this is what that is. And therefore, we become the enemies of the society because we speak the truth.
Thank you.
So that's the thing, man. That's and you know what? That's what Jake's afraid of. You know, 2/3 of Israel is afraid to become enemies of their oppressors.
Yeah.
Even though you're an enemy of your oppressor, that's why he's your oppressor.
Yeah.
So it shows you, man, our people are in a confused state. And they fear Esau more than they fear the Most High and his son.
And the one in Isaiah, that was like Amos 2 verse 20.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? Keep going a little bit. What is it?
Okay.
Where does it end at?
It was Isaiah.
Isaiah 5.
5.
It's not like it's like in the cusp. It's not too cold. Like keep my hands in my pocket long enough.
Yeah.
So
Verse 21. Woe unto them that are wise in their own eyes, and prudent in their own sight.
you know what that means? That means breaking down the scriptures according to your own opinion. Bringing out the truth according to how you feel.
Yeah.
You know, like an example of what I just finished speaking earlier is homosexuality. No matter your emotional, no matter how you feel emotionally towards that, objectively, logically, it is wrong. It promotes extinction and death. And anything that promotes death and extinction you should be against, right?
Yeah.
So it's an example of that, man. Are people breaking down the scriptures, man? You got people who will read the scriptures and break it down according to their own convenience. A great example of that is these pastors. They break down the scriptures to their own convenience so they can make more money and look better while they're doing it. You know, they'll read scriptures. They'll predominantly know what's going on. They'll have a congregation of people who are roughly going through the same thing: pain, struggle. They might not have the same details as to what they're going through, but they're all going through struggle and pain. You know what I mean? So they'll just read a sermon based on that for their own convenience. So that those people, when they're pushed in that emotional, state, they'll give more money. Because now you've read something that relates to their circumstance, even though it's not the complete truth.
Yeah. That's right. And it says, woe unto them that are mighty to drink wine, and men of strength to mingle strong drink, which justify the wicked of reward, and take away the righteousness of the righteous from him. Therefore, as the fire devoureth the stubble, and the flame consumeth the chaff, so their root shall be as a rottenness, and their blossom shall go up as dust, because they have cast away the law of the Lord of hosts, Yahweh Shem Shai, and despised the word of the Holy One of Israel. Therefore is the anger of the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai kindled against his people, and he hath stretched forth his hand against them, and hath smitten them, and the hills did tremble, and their carcasses were torn.
The hills represent the government, right, of the society. Esau's basically the higher echelons of Esau.
That's right. Were torn in the midst of the streets, for all his anger. For all this, his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still.
So that's heavy, man. Like, if you can put into image what's gonna be happening, the state that this society is gonna be in when Yahushua comes, even if we just go before Yahushua comes, because it says, the scriptures say, "What will I be if it not already be kindled before I come?"
Yeah.
And that's true, man. This place, we're going to be in a state of emergency. Like Venezuela is going to be the whole Western Hemisphere. Okay, with you got the martial law, you got basically martial law. You got no food, no water, people killing, raping each other, all type of wickedness before Yahushua comes. And then when Yahushua comes, that's going to amplify because it's going to be war. So you really got to put in perspective what's going to happen in the future, man. And are you ready for it? Are you spiritually ready? Because physically it doesn't really matter. Because at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. You got to train the ghost in the machine so that the machine will follow. It really doesn't matter. So are you spiritually ready for it? Are you willing to lose your life, or lose your life to stay true to this truth?
That's right. Verse 26. And he will lift up an ensign to the nations from far, and will hiss unto them from the end of the earth, and behold, he shall come with speed swiftly. None shall be weary nor stumble among them. None shall slumber nor sleep, neither shall the girdle of their loins be loosed, nor the latches of their shoes be broken. Whose arrows are sharp, and all their bows bent. Their horses' hoofs shall be counted like flint.
And this is talking about the nuclear missiles.
Yeah.
Because the nuclear missiles, when they're going to be shot out of their launch pad,
Different regions.
yeah, from the different regions, it's what it's called a boat.
Yeah. And it's gonna not miss. When it shoots, it will hit its target.
That's right.
You know?
And you saw, man, if you just do like if you look up you do small quick research on nuclear missiles and the technology of it, you see the type of tracking device, the type of GPSs they have in nuclear missiles. It's unheard of.
Yeah.
We're talking about GPSs that sense out vibrations within the body.
Yeah.
So of course, yeah, they're definitely not going to miss their target. But that's through the Most High.
And it says, and their wheels like a whirlwind. Their roar shall be like a lion, and shall roar like young lions. Yea, they shall roar and lay hold of the prey, and shall carry it away safe, and none shall deliver it.
That's right. So Esau's military might is going to be crazy too.
And it says, and in that day shall they roar against them like a roaring of the sea, and if one look unto the land, behold darkness and arrow and sorrow, and the light is darkened in the heavens thereof. Yeah, that was it on that chapter.
So with that, we're going to close up. We're going to say,
Kahala Yahweh wa Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Ruchakudash.
The double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. The salutations to the elect, preaching His word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth.
Yeah.
Death and destruction to the wicked kingdom, 2/3 of Israel, and Esau as well. Shalom.
Shalom.